Hello, students, and welcome back to the video series on Advanced Database Management System. In this video session, we are going to talk on the extended features of entity relationship diagram. The three features we are going to discuss on: specialization, generalization, and aggregation. So let's start. So if you remember, in our last video session, we have already talked on the basic notations which are used in drawing the entity relationship diagram. And after that, we have also studied some major key constraints which are to be followed while designing the database. So today we are going to talk on these three extended features. So let's start with the first feature, which is called as specialization. Now, specialization follows the top-down design process. Now, what do you mean by that? In top-down design process, an entity set may include subgroupings of entities that are distinct in some way from other entities in the set. It means that when you come across an entity set in which there are some entities, those can be distinctively presented in some way by observing their features uniquely, then such entity sets can be presented with the help of specialization. In entity relationship model, it provides means of representing these distinctive entity groupings. And this entity or distinctive entity grouping is denoted by a triangle component which is labeled as ISA, and it stands for is a. So here I have taken into consideration one example. Suppose customer is an entity set, but customer is a person and that customer may be playing some other role. We will take some more examples. Now, essentially here we need to understand the concept of attribute inheritance. The lower level entity set inherits all the attributes of the higher level entity set. It means in this particular example, when we say customer is a person, obviously that particular person entity set is inheriting all the attributes, all the properties of the customer entity set. So it may be the common attributes such as the customer name, the customer age, the customer address. Okay, so these are some entity set attributes of a customer which are getting inherited by person. So same explanation is there in this particular line. The employee is the lower level entity set which inherits the name attributes of the person entity set, right? It means employee name is already specified in the name attribute of person. So it is not needed to separately specify it in employee entity set again. So the employee entity set can be described by attributes salary, name, street, and city. Okay. So like this, we can avoid the presence of the same attribute in the in both the entity sets, as I can say, the parent entity set and the child entity set. A lower level entity set also inherits participation in the relationship sets in which its higher level entity participates. It means whatever relationship set the higher level entity set is participating, obviously the lower level entity set also inherits that participation. Now, if you remember in our last video session, in one of the last video session, we have discussed on the descriptive attribute of a relationship set. So to explain you in line with this particular point, if there is a descriptive attribute attached to the relationship set and that relationship set is connected with the higher level entity set, if there is a specialization feature which is used there, then in this case, the lower level entity set will also inherit the descriptive attribute of that particular relationship set. So that is called the participation or inheriting the participation in the relationship set. Let us try to understand with an example. Here you can see that there is entity set which is person, a higher level entity set which is person, having three attributes: name, street, and city. Now this person entity set is actually further extended by making use of specialization feature is a. So person is a employee, person is a customer. It means we need to uniquely maintain the distinctive properties of this person with respect to its role as an employee and its role as a customer. And in such cases, we use this specialization feature. Okay, so person is an employee, person is a customer. Now, as far as implementation part is concerned, here you are going to end up in creating three different tables. So person will be a common table wherein you will combine the employee ID and the customer ID. But here you will also maintain employee and customer as a separate table. Okay. So whatever attributes you are not actually required to mention in the person entity set, those attributes you can very well mention under employee with respect to employee role and under customer with respect to its customer role. So here the salary can be mentioned as an attribute to this lower level entity set employee. Similarly, customer can have an attribute that is credit rating. Now, if you see, this employee entity set is again further extended by using this particular specialization feature as employee is an officer, employee is a tailor, and employee is a secretary. It means whatever roles are there as an employee when that particular person is working in an organization, with respect to those roles, if one needs to maintain the distinctive features or distinctive properties of that role, of every role, then again the employee entity set can be extended further. Okay, so you need to understand the requirement first clearly. So here officer table will be built separately, similarly tailor and secretary. So you can see the office number is an attribute which is attached to this officer entity set. Then you can see station number or the hours worked is attached to this tailor entity set, and for secretary entity set, hours worked is attached, right? So what is the takeaway out of this particular example? Whenever you come across an entity set where you need to maintain the properties or you need to maintain the distinctive attributes of the entities which are involved in that particular entity set, then in such case, the higher level entity set can be extended further by making use of specialization. Okay, and that is why it is called as, that is why it is using top-down design process approach. Let's go ahead. Now, generalization is the contradictory version of specialization. It is exactly opposite to that of specialization. Means, as far as the thought process which is required in specialization is concerned, in generalization we have to exactly reverse the thought process while designing the ERD by making use of generalization. Let's see. That is why it is using bottom-up design process. So a bottom-up design process combine number of entity sets those share the same features into a higher level entity set. In this, what happens is, first of all, we think upon the lower level entity sets, right? And then after observing the attributes of lower level entity sets, we understand that there are some kind of common features of all these lower level entity sets which can be altogether combined in a higher level entity set. Okay, so here we are thinking from bottom to up design approach. Okay, and this is called as generalization feature. As I already mentioned, specialization and generalization are simple inversions of each other. They are represented in an ER diagram in the same way. The terms specialization and generalization are many a times used interchangeably because both are serving the same purpose. Only the design approach is different. The database designer may have first identified an employee entity set with the attributes such as salary, name, street, and city, and customer entity set with the attributes credit ratings, name, street, and city. So maybe the designer has identified these two entity sets. There are similarities between the employee entity set and customer entity set in the sense that they have several attributes in common. Okay, so it may happen that in the initial stage, the designer has come up with these two entity sets. And as I mentioned in the beginning, there are some attributes which that designer is finding that it is common between employee entity set and customer entity set. So this commonality can be expressed by using this feature which is called as generalization, which is a containment relationship that exists between higher level entity set and one or more lower level entity set. So in our example, the example just before this particular slide we discussed, person is the higher level entity set, employee and customer are the lower level entity sets. Higher level entities can also be designated as superclass and lower level entities can also be designated as subclass. Okay, so this is the explanation related to generalization. Now coming to the last feature, last extended feature of this particular video, that is aggregation. So in aggregation, the relation between two entities is treated as a single entity. In aggregation, relationship with its corresponding entities is aggregated into a higher level entity. What do you mean by that? Let us try to understand the use of aggregation by making use of this simple example. Here, we have taken into consideration an example where you can see there are two entity sets, center and course. Center entity offers the course entity, and course entity is connected with center entity via this offer relationship set. Okay. So in the real world, if you observe, whenever a visitor visits the center, okay, if a visitor visits a coaching center, then he or she will never inquire about the courses only or just about the center. Instead, that visitor will inquire about maybe what are the different branches of that particular center as per the comfort or as per the address of that particular visitor. He or she may want to know this information, and along with that, the other information also will be sought by this particular visitor, and that is about what are the various courses which are conducted at various branches of that center. It means a visitor is seeking for the information on center as well as on course. So here if you see, both these entity sets should be connected with this visitor altogether. Why? Because visitor is wanting to have information on center as well as course. So when you come across certain scenario where both the entity sets which are formed at the higher level, they are going to be used, or they are going to be rather required to be connected to the lower level entity set altogether, then we use an extended feature which is called an aggregation. And of course it is used, or rather it is represented by making use of this rectangle or a box, okay, which is actually depicting that these two entity sets are combined together and they are forming a higher level entity set altogether. Okay, so that it can be connected with this visitor via enquire relationship set. Okay. So this is a simple example of aggregation where you understand that whenever the number of higher level entity sets together are going to be required by the lower level entity set, then we can combine those two entity sets together with this particular extended feature of entity relationship diagram, which is called as aggregation. So this is the third feature which we talked today in this video session. Now, this is the summary of the various symbols which we have been discussing throughout this video series. So just to have the summary once again in front of you, entity sets can be represented with rectangle, ellipse are used to represent attribute, double rectangle for weak entity set, double ellipse for multi-value attribute, diamond object for relationship set, dotted ellipse for derived attribute. Then you can see double diamond for identifying relationship set for weak entity set, and then total participation between a relationship set and an entity set can be represented with the double line. Primary key can be represented by making use of underline to that attribute name, and similarly weak entity set or other discriminating attribute of weak entity set can be represented by making use of dotted underline. So these are some symbols which I felt that you have to revisit again so that it will be very easy for you to draw it while you are drawing the entity relationship diagram. So here we are going to stop. Hope you understood whatever is discussed in this particular video session. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for my next video.